Introducing our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jesse Lopez.
Can you all hear me? Because I'm going to be moving around a lot. Woo! Well, you know I love talking about healing, and I love talking about CBD and how I incorporate that into traditional medicine to help my patients heal. Our motto at the American Shaman Clinics and CBD is healing the mind, body, and spirit. But it seems like every time I get to talk about the body. And so today I'm going to talk about the mind and the spirit. We're going to look at several aspects that I hope that you will take home with you that will help you grow personally, spiritually, something that you can pass on to your clients that come in your door, something that will help you pursue your dreams as you grow with us as franchisees, something that you'll be able to take and share with your children and grandchildren. Because when it really comes down to it, that's what it's all about. We're here for such a short time on this planet, correct? Right? And so it's really about the relationships that we create. It's really about the growth that we go through. It's really about the evolution of ourselves. And so I hope to share some information with you today that you'll be able to take home with you and utilize. So, this is going to be some audience participation today, and I expect everybody to participate, okay? Because I'm up here talking and moving around, so you got to do some too. So, I would like you to take out a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to draw a big triangle on that piece of paper. Big triangle. And at the top of that triangle, I want you to write the word creator. On the lower right-hand corner of that triangle, write the word coach. And on the left lower corner, put the word challenger. Creator, coach, challenger. Creator, coach, challenger. Next, I want you to take another piece of paper and make an upside-down triangle. I'll let you get your other piece of paper. It's great to see everybody grabbing their paper and doing stuff. It's awesome. I want you to write the word victim at the bottom of that upside-down triangle. The word victim. Then I want you to write in the upper left-hand corner of the paper, persecutor. The word persecutor. On the right-hand side, the word rescuer. Did I have your attention yet? I hope so. All right. Now, take one more piece of paper, and this is the last set of notes that you have to take. You can take others if you want to, but I want you to have this as we go through this discussion. I want you to write, victim fears loss of self-identity. Victim fears loss of self-identity. Creator allows for the higher self. Creator allows for the higher self. A little space, and then the next line. Rescuer fears the loss of purpose. Rescuer fears the loss of purpose. And under that, a coach helps find purpose. A coach helps find purpose. And then the last two sentences is that a persecutor fears loss of control, and a challenger gives back control. Do you want me to say that again? Okay, I'm happy to do it. I'm going to start from the top because this is really important. Victim fears loss of self-identity. Victim fears loss of self-identity. Everybody got that one? Awesome. Creator allows for the higher self. Creator allows for the higher self. Or you can substitute the word soul. Everybody got that one? Rescuer fears the loss of purpose. Rescuer fears the loss of purpose. A coach helps find purpose. Coach helps find purpose. Everyone got that? Excellent. Next is that the persecutor fears the loss of control. Fears the loss of control. And the challenger gives back that control. Everybody got that? Okay. Challenger gives back control. Persecutor fears loss of control. Persecutor fears loss of control, and the challenger gives back control. So over the next 40 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through how each and every one of us have played the roles of victim, persecutor, or rescuer. And that's typically the dance that we do all day long as we go through our lives, with our children, with our colleagues, with our business, with our clients. And it can be a pretty frustrating place to live, an unsuccessful place to live. And then I'm going to go through how we can shift that to where you are living in the dynamic dance of creator, coach, challenger. That already sounds successful just by saying those words, doesn't it? The thing is that it's active. You have to participate with your mind, your heart, your soul. You have to become consciously aware of what's going on throughout your day. Now, you might think, what does a traditionally trained physician know about any of this? Well, I do know that you build an intuitive sense when you care for an individual of what's going on with them. And I do know that when they are not healing, then something is going on deep down inside. And nowhere do I see that more than when I deal with my surgical weight loss patients. They've gone to surgery, they've risked their lives, they've had this huge stomach bypass procedure, and they're still not losing weight. Oh, they lost a little bit, but not enough. Why is that? What are they doing to sabotage themselves? What aspect of themselves do they not love that they're not allowing their success? So I get a sense that something's going on with them. And when I turn to them and I say, what's going on? They say, oh, doctor, I'm eating everything I'm supposed to. I'm really, I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm counting my calories. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. What's going on in here? And as soon as I do that, they usually start to cry because they know that there's a hidden trauma where they've been the victim that they've never brought forth and dealt with, and it's interfering with their healing. Why is this important to you as franchise owners, as individuals that are part of the American Shaman Company or who assists the American Shaman Company? Why it's relevant to you is because if you are here and you do not consider yourself a healer, I'm going to tell you, please reconsider. Because you don't have to have a degree to be a healer. Because when we talk about healing, it's beyond physicality. It goes deeper than that. Now, yes, I know everyone wants to make a good living, make good money, have a good retirement. Absolutely. As you should. You should want that for yourself. You deserve that. But the other part of the mission with this company is about helping individuals. And you're not going to be able to fully embrace that mission unless you've helped yourself. And so hopefully what I share with you today will help you help yourself. Some of the things that I'm going to share with you today actually came out of a fantastic book by David Emerald. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's called The Power of TED. Anybody heard of that book? It's called The Empowerment Dynamic. So one of the things that I totally recommend, and it's like $10, it will change your life, is this book. So what I've done is I've gone through the TED dynamic, and I've added a little Dr. Lopez flair to it today, okay? To make it really relevant to what all of you are experiencing in your lives. So first of all, let's talk about the victim. So I'm going to ask, when I say the word victim, what's the first word that comes to someone's mind? Anything, victim. I say, you're a victim. What do you come up with? What? Suffering. A good one. Crime. Crime. Good one. Fear. Fear. Good one. Anybody else over here? Trauma, depression. Okay. So some great examples. How many of you feel like in your life at some point you've been a victim? I have. Whether it's real or not, we've all been a victim. That victim can be a circumstance, a real circumstance like an earthquake or a car accident, but it can be something else. It can be something that maybe we experienced when we were young. It could be just a perception that somebody is against us. Somebody's trying to take us down. Somebody doesn't want us to be successful. In other words, most of our victim mentality comes from thoughts that we create in our mind. And the perception of what really is happening is totally different. It's just that our mind perceives it a different way. And you're right, it does create this aspect of fear. Because we get into these situations where all of a sudden we're functioning from the perspective of the woe is me syndrome. Woe is me. The guy across town had more CBD sales than me. Woe is me. Or some other company moved their store next to mine. Woe is me. Or, the list goes on and on. That's just an example that I know a lot of you experience because I hear it. I read about it. And I feel for you for it because it creates a fear. And this is true in your family lives as well. Woe is me. My wife doesn't love me. And my husband doesn't love me. I get it. It's totally acceptable to have that human experience. The problem is we allow ourselves to become defined by it as a victim. And before you know it, you're on the telephone and you're telling any one of your friends that will listen to you so you can recruit allies and build your side of the story and make your story the perfect story. And then you feel even better because people are sympathizing with you and it supports your victim mindset. So before you know it, you're functioning in every avenue of your life as the victim. At work, with your kids, with your clients, with your spouse. And what that does is it allows you to put the blame somewhere else. You never have to look at yourself. And I know I don't like to do that, right? One of the toughest things for my patients is for them to look at themselves, especially the ones that have undergone or will undergo some kind of body transforming surgery. When I get to the heart of what's going on with them, and I can tell that they have continued to live in the place of their victimhood, I immediately know that there's the lack of self-love. And I will take those patients and my client up to the mirror, and I will ask them to look at that mirror and say, I love you. When they can't do that, I know that they will never heal. Their hypertension won't resolve, their weight loss won't resolve until they get to that point. And when I see that, then I know how I can begin to help them even more with counseling or addressing the situation or the issue or helping them with self-esteem issues. So this is the kind of thing that I want you to and encourage you to look at as you go home is, do I display some of those qualities in my life when it comes to dealing with everybody in my life? And what can I do differently so that I don't have to live in the unhappy place of being a victim? One of the significant aspects of the victimhood mentality is a poverty mindset. And Sometimes I read about it in the Facebook chats that we have. Sometimes I see it in my own family where somebody is being very successful, or you're afraid somebody's going to take something away from you, that you begin to lash out, that you're being taken advantage of, or I'm being taken advantage of. When I will tell you right now that there is more than enough for everyone. Every one of you are worthy of and can be, and if you think it right, will be very wealthy, very successful, and be able to pursue your dreams. But I will guarantee you, if you stay stuck in a victim mindset, success will never visit your door. The reason is, like begets like. So if you continue to be in a place of want, my belief, and of course you're welcome to disagree with me, the universe is just going to bring you more of that want. The universe will allow itself to be proven true by what you say and what you desire. So if you're displaying that aspect of a mentality mindset, especially at the success of others around you, you'll continue to stay in the same place. We'll talk a little bit later about how to get out of that mindset, and it's very freeing when you get there. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. All right, so typically one of the things that is at the core of feeling like you're a victim is what I call the psychic death of a dream. You've had a dream, a passion, you thought something should go a certain way, and it just doesn't. You know, marriage is a great example. You know, you have a fairy tale thought of, you know, you kiss your frog and he turns into a prince, and you grow up, you're going to live happily ever after, and then so many years later, it's a disaster. And then what you have is a victim and a persecutor, and a victim and a persecutor going at each other, doing the dance, right? And so when those kind of things come across our path, I want you to be aware of what it is that's happening to you that is keeping you in that mindset, that's drawing your energy down, where you don't feel like going into your store, where you don't feel like going to work, where you don't feel like ordering one more bottle of CBD because you're just so fed up with the day, right? I'm going to give you some ways to escape that here in just a little bit. The other thing that's pretty significant is when we have a loss of health or a sense of safety, you can really begin to feel sorry for yourself. And I totally get it. I'm not belittling those feelings or emotions. They're real. Experience them. That's okay. But you don't have to stay there. Okay, what about the prosecutor? Who's the prosecutor? What is a prosecutor? When you say persecutor, prosecutor, what kind of words come to your mind? What's the first thing? Anybody? Lawyer, okay. So when you're thinking of lawyer, somebody's accusing you, right? Somebody's pointing their finger at you. Any others? What's that? Attacking. That's a good one. Yeah. So, you know, a persecutor is basically a perpetrator of a series of abuses or discomforts or issues that they try to create in somebody's life. They leave a sea of victims in their wake, right? Here they are, coming into the boardroom. You. And they're all over you, creating victims. And all of a sudden, you're sitting in that chair as an associate or something, and you're just shrinking into your victim mode. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that to me. Oh my God, he did that to me. Why? Oh, woe is me. He just immediately puts your butt in the victim role. And you know what? Like a psychic vampire, that person just ate it up, right? Or you walk into the boardroom, and the big man's going at you, and you stand up and you go right back at him and maybe say a few choice words that are anatomical, okay? Guess what you did? You just fed the psychic vampire as well. You turned yourself into a persecutor. So there's this dynamic dance that happens in our lives every day, and it vacillates back and forth, back and forth. If that persecutor can blame you and you accept the blame, then that persecutor feels better and walks away with the chest puffed out. Now, sometimes, quote, persecution in our lives can be circumstances. It could be a tornado hit our house. I mean, that would really suck. It can be something very disastrous like that we don't have any control over. It's something that is intimidating us, something that is coming at us. And basically, we allow the persecutor to put us into a place of despair or hopelessness. That's kind of what the persecutor likes to do. And if you, again, try to respond with the like energy, it will rob you. You know, I have 7 children, and I love every one of my kids, and I have worked so hard to raise them in a good way. In the Native American world, we say in a good way. I was talking with my son, one of my sons, and he had had an encounter with someone with whom he worked, that he respected. And the individual came to him in a harsh way during a meeting. He was very upset. And he said, "Oh, Dad, I was so angry of how I was treated. I just wanted to lash out. I just wanted to just give it back." And I sat there and I'm, okay, and what happened, son? I said, "Excuse me," and I got up and I walked out. And I'm like, yes, right? Because he recognized that it was just simply an energy that was occurring, and that if he responded in a way that was like a persecutor back, that could hurt a work relationship. It could hurt a friend. But he's wise, and I admire that. He's young and he's wise. So I said, "Well, what happened? What happened?" Well, went in and finished the meeting, and he said, "Then I invited this individual to go for a walk and talk." I'm like, "Wow, so that's awesome, son. That's really cool." I said, "What happened when you took the walk?" He said, "Well," I said, "You know, what's going on? How you doing? I can tell you're kind of stressed, or, you know, you're not feeling so good. What's going on?" Well, the individual simply overburdened, working their butt off. And I was really proud that he stepped back to see the humanity behind the situation other than just lashing out. So I encourage you to do the same thing in your daily ways of dealing with one another. I love the co-op idea because it makes us work together as stores and get to know each other and to know each other's struggles. Because when you know each other's struggles, then it's a whole lot harder to point your finger at them and blame them for stuff that has nothing to do with you or them. And you get to work together unified, and I love it. I went to my first co-op meeting in Kansas City, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. We got to meet people, talk to people, strategize. And I'm like, man, we're gonna continue to conquer Kansas City as a group together, not individually by ourselves, feeling all alone. So, oftentimes, the persecutor will act in a grandiose way or be very bellicose, almost frightening, but they're acting out of fear, just like the victim is acting out of fear. Basically, most of the things that we do are fear-based. We just don't even realize it. And if you step back from those conditions and realize you're functioning from a place of fear, you oftentimes can make a better decision that feels better in your heart than just acting from that place of fear. So what about the rescuer? What does this rescuer guy have to do with this whole triangle? So you got your triangle going there. We've got the victim. We've got the persecutor. What about the rescuer? What is that? When you hear the rescuer, what words do you think of? Savior. I like that one. What? Knight. Knight on shining armor. Enabler. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you. That's huge. Hero. My hero. Right, I love it. Oh, great. Okay, you guys just did my lecture for me. Thank you. All right, anybody here been a rescuer? I have, yeah. Great story, because I have so many children. I have a lot of stories. I had another son. He was in high school, and now he's in pre-med, and I'm so proud of him. But I hope to God he doesn't leave a scalpel in somebody, because that child would leave his school book or his school bag at home almost every other day. And he would call me and he would say, Dad, I left my bag. Dad, I left my book. And I'd go marching out my clinic under my breath to get in my car, go and get it, take it to school, come back. Patients would be mad at me because I'm running late or because I'm behind. And then I'm like, what am I doing? This is stupid. He's going to have to own it the next time. Because I'm tired of being his knight in shining armor, his rescuer. It's exhausting. Some of you are doing the same thing in some of your relationships, inside American Shaman and outside American Shaman. All right? We're going to help you get out of that mode. Back to the story. So one day he calls me, and he says, Dad, I need my book. I'm like, well, that's great. That's great. No, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is, because it's your need, not mine. And he said, well, I'm going to get an F for the day. I'm like, that's great. So what do you mean it's great? Because it's your F, not mine. I said, son, are you getting this yet? You have to own it. It's not mine. I love you dearly. You know that. If a mountain lion was going for you, I'd tackle him to the ground and take him down. But you're going to get an F for the day. I'll see you after school. Okay? Right? But I had to stop and recognize it. I had to ask myself, what am I doing here? I want you to ask yourself, are you doing those kind of things in your life that's draining your energy from your ability to be prosperous, to be functional in your business? Who are you trying to rescue? Are you running around trying to take care of somebody that's taken away from your store and they really shouldn't be taking your business away from you or be taking your energy away from you? But you're just such a softie that it's affecting your bottom line because you can't be there and open your store at 8 o'clock and you're opening it at 10 o'clock because you have to go do something for somebody again because nobody else will. I want you to be able to say no. I want you to be able to put you first. That's okay. It's okay to put yourself first as a parent, as a husband, as a wife. And you have people around you that love you. They will allow you to do that when you need to. Okay? If they don't, then they get an F for the day. Okay? That's all. So, the rescuer is one who intervenes on behalf of the victim to deliver them from this harm or this trauma. And it is really some sticky business because it's tough sometimes to watch people suffer that you love because they have to own their stuff. But you have to let them do it because otherwise they will stay a victim forever. They will never come out of their victimhood if you keep rescuing them. They will enjoy their victimhood for as long as you let them, or as long as they will let you pay for their victimhood, right? Because it's easy for them. You know, it's kind of like rubbernecking in a traffic accident. It's the old energy attracts the same type of energy. If you're turning and you're looking and you're turning and you're looking and oh yeah, there's an officer pulled over at the side of the road and traffic's backed up for miles, first of all, and that's so irritating. Why don't people just drive by, right? But you don't see that the car in front of you stopped and then you hit them, right? Well, you're watching those guys work and try to rescue people, and before you know it, you have your own accident and you're having to have people come rescue you. Rescuers are typically drawn to situations that require them to rescue. And the reason that they do that is that it gives them a feeling of self-importance. Some rescuers will take it to the extreme, where they will be all in and give so much that they become a martyr. And then they get to march around and tell everybody what they sacrificed in order to rescue. And then guess what they start looking like? A victim. They think they're a rescuer as a martyr, but they've just made themselves a victim. Where are you doing that in your life? I ask you to examine these things because these take away from your ability to be successful on a daily basis. All right. Well, I think you got the idea of what the rescuer is, so I'm not going to keep going through that. I'm going to jump into how do we shift this? What do we do to make this whole situation different? How do I become a creator? So pull out your second sheet because we're going to flip the triangle the other way because the triangle's been upside down. We need to shift it. So first of all, what a creator does is that they tap into his or her own personal power. They tap into their own personal power. You don't need somebody else to make you feel good. You don't need somebody to tell you you're successful, you're beautiful, etc., because you already are. One of the places to begin, if you're not good at being a creator, is to function in a place of gratitude. If you want to be the best creator there ever was, you want to create an empire, you want to create a CBD franchise empire, bathe yourself in gratitude all day long. Even when that person flips you off in rush hour traffic. I am actually getting better at that. I mean, I've stopped flipping people off in traffic. But no, I'm getting better at allowing them to be the persecutor on the road. Okay? They have to get somewhere more important than me. I totally get it. I'm going to get there alive. Okay? When you see someone successful, you're at your co-op meeting and you hear somebody say, "Oh my gosh, I had a $2,000 sale the other day. I sold $2,000. Don't go into that place of, "Oh, why am I not getting that? Are they taking my client somehow? What's going on?" Run up to them, even though you may not want to. Because we're shifting a mindset here, and it takes effort. It takes action. You go out and say, "Man, Jack, I am so glad for you. That is so awesome. That's fantastic. What can I do to help you be even more successful?" Seriously, what can I do? What can we do here? What you are doing is you're getting all the obstructions, I think, in a metaphysical sense, the obstructions out of your way for your success. How many times have your parents told you to be thankful? Raise your hands. Do you think your parents were full of crap? No. They were onto something. That gratitude is the first place to be. And before you know it, I guarantee you, I have no hesitancy putting a guarantee on it. The universe will begin to give you things to be grateful and thankful for. The universe will say, "Oh, there's Jesse over there. He's showing gratitude all the way around, and oh, man, I'm just going to keep putting this in his life and this in his life so that he can just bathe in gratitude." Okay? And by the way, I'm really thankful, I truly am, for this event. So I thank Mark and Vince and Ellen and everyone else who's been part of it. I thank all of you who have sacrificed time to come and be here. So I share some gratitude with you and for what you've done coming here. That felt good. It also allows you, when you're a creator, the choice of how to respond to life's circumstances. So life just doesn't happen to you anymore, it happens for you when you're a creator. Whew, that feels better already, doesn't it? Doesn't that feel so much better than being a victim? Does it? Yes. Does it? Yeah, say yes. Yes. It feels better. Who wants to be a victim? That's no fun. Being a prosperous creator filled with gratitude and being zippity-doo-dah, I mean, that's fun. I mean, we only have so many years on this planet, people, and we're on a rock this big in the entire universe. So why do we want to spend it moping and being a victim and attacking people and rescuing when we can, like Travis Kelce said, fight for our right to party, right? What a fabulous quote, right? Let's party as a creator. Let's party as a challenger to ourselves and to those around us that we love, and we'll talk about that in a minute, as well as a coach. Now, I want you to understand that when you're a creator, you become vision-focused and passion-motivated. I love that. Vision-focused, passion-motivated. You have a vision, right? I remember in the day that a lot of folks did vision boards. I think that's a great idea because it really helps you see and know what you desire and what you're going to manifest. And notice I said what you're going to manifest. I didn't say what you want to manifest. Because one is as though you have, and the other is, I might get it, I want it, we'll see, right? But it's going to manifest. So when you move into that mindset, that's what begins to happen for you. To basically dive into and live into your creative self and really discover your inner passion and your inner purpose. In other words, it helps you discover that age-old question of, why the heck am I here? Am I here to be a victim and just to be sour on life and just be pissy because everybody else is getting what I think I should get and I'm not getting it? And why am I not getting it? Because I'm probably not worthy? No, that's not it at all. You're here for just the opposite. Totally the opposite. But you got to believe that you're a creator, right? I read a lot of sacred text. I love to read the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita. I love the teachings of Jesus and Buddha. And I love the Dalai Lama and his quotes, right? They all talk about the importance of creation. And one learned master, Jesus, said that basically we would do great things, even greater than he did on this earth. Oh, cool, I'm up for that. But you won't do that in the place of victimhood. You'll do that from the place of being a creator, right? So being a creator comes from a place of making a choice where you declare in your heart and your soul and your mind that you really are a creator and that you're not a victim. So right now, I would like you to say with me on the count of 3, I am a creator. 1, 2, 3. I am a creator! You are not victims. So when you leave here, you go out there and you create. In whatever field you do, you create in your families. Create the environment you want. Create the businesses that you want. Don't wait for it to happen to you. You get to create it. I was talking to Loudy here earlier, some of the things that they do down in Arkansas. And man, you know, they had their days of struggles. But they go after it. They find things to do. They try to create all the time down there in Arkansas of new things to add and to get people in. So do that. You can do that. And I'm happy to help in any way. And I hope that when we leave this conference, and when we come to the 4th American Shaman Conference, that we have gotten to such a place where we're constantly turning towards one another and saying, what can I do to help you? Don't say, what can you do to help me? What can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? How does that feel? When I look in your face and I say, what can I do to help you? It makes you feel like grateful, and you're successful, and somebody's behind me. They're there to help me if I need them, right? I walk into my clinic, and not every morning, but most mornings, I will walk around, I'll say, what can I do to help you? Sometimes it blows their minds because they don't expect that from a physician. And I think physicians as healers should be ones that have the best example. A quick story, because I'm sure time's moving along. One of the clinic days, towards the end of the day, it was about time to go home, and it was probably about 3 o'clock. And there were some dirty dishes in the sink, and we'd been really busy, and people were eating lunch and throwing their stuff in there, and I was walking in there and getting some coffee, and I saw all these dirty dishes. I'm like, So I just start cleaning them off and put them in the dishwasher, clean them off just like I do at home. So one of our staff members comes around the corner, beautiful Argentinian lady, Valeria, and she goes, Dr. Lopez, what are you doing? I will do that. I do that every night. I'm like, no, it's okay, Valeria. I want to help you. I appreciate what you do for me. So thank you. I'm happy to do this. And she was just blessed by that, that I was thinking of her. So when you go home, what little things can you do for someone just by saying, how can I help you? Okay? All right. I think we need to practice that one out loud. How can I help you? Turn to your neighbor and say, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you, Mark Saylor? All right. I love it. I see hugs going on out there. I love it. That's awesome. I am going to tell you that when you really see who you are as a creator, I love it. Go ahead. Keep going. I love it. I will tell you that when you really grasp a hold of the creators that you are, that it will become a huge turning point in your life. You will really step into an understanding of who you really, truly are, more than just this physicality. It will allow you to incorporate the supernatural, soul-conscious aspect of your higher self into your everyday, earthly realm of existence. When you realize that you are a creator and you can put together whatever you want and you can do it from a place of love and compassion and kindness without worry, without a poverty mindset, you are coming into who you really are. And that's really what American Shaman is all about. It's about being who we really are. And for you to be here, for you to have a franchise, you already have the creator mentality. You already have it. And I know that when you go home, you're going to ratchet it up. You're going to ratchet it up. And I'm here to help you. That's why I'm here. That's why my medical staff is here. That's why we have now 2 nurse practitioners on staff, because we want to be able to be better to answer questions. And we haven't been so good in the past because we've been running too, trying to keep up and get things done. But we're getting there. And we thank you for your patience with us. But some really great things are coming out of this. Now, to be the most effective creator you can be, you have to be the examples of loving yourself. Okay? So, we're going to do an exercise. I want everybody to take out their cell phone. You just take out your cell phone. I'm going to take out mine. All right, take out your cell phone. Take out your cell phone. Put it on photo mode. Hold it up, but reverse it. Reverse it. Okay? We're going to do a group selfie, so you'll get yourself and the people behind you. Okay, so I'm reversing. I'm going to see myself. Okay? And then take a picture. And smile, please. Now, does everybody have a picture of themselves? Vince, did you take a picture of yourself? Fortune, take a picture of yourself. All right. Everybody, look at it. Look at it. Now, you might think that there are all kinds of imperfections. You might see that zit on your nose. You might see that gray, stray eyebrow hair. Or in my case, you might see that you're losing some of your hair. And you can begin to be pretty critical about what's in that picture. Or you can look in that picture and you can say, man, that is the darndest, sexiest, hunkiest, most awesome individual I have ever seen. And at some point, you're going to believe that because it's the truth. Because as you well know, there's not another one exactly like you. So I want you to look at those pictures. Everybody's looking at your pictures. I'm going to do it too, okay? going to take my picture. I'm going to hold it up here. All right, so I'm looking at my picture. Yeah, it's a pretty good picture. Now, I want you to say, I love my selfie. My selfie. Okay, so that's your homework till we meet next year, is every day pull up that picture before you start your day and say, I love my selfie. So when we move into the place of loving ourselves, being in a place of gratitude, not having a poverty mindset, guess what becomes easier? It becomes easier to share power, right? It becomes easier to share ideas and thoughts and respect other people's opinions because you have nothing to prove any longer, because you're really good with who you are. Now, we're going to talk about the last one, the challenger. So you're still looking at your triangle there? You see where that's at, the challenger? So the challenger is someone who's kind of like the persecutor, but in a positive way. Okay, the challenger causes somebody to get into a place of action, to move forward, to not stay in the same place. Basically, a challenger calls the creator forth to do what they need to do, which is to create. Now, sometimes that challenger, if you look at them as the persecutor, may not have the benefit in your life that you might want it to have or that it could have. If you see them as a challenger, it might spur you to new thoughts and new ideas and new changes, or a new road because another door is closed and so a different path is opened. Now, these challengers can be circumstances or it can be a person, and they see the persecutor not as something scary, but a motivation for birthing into existence your creation. Let those challengers help you move along your path in a way to help you be successful. And this is what sparks further development in yourself. Now, what about a coach? Now, when I'm talking about a coach, I'm not talking about the NFL type of coach that stands on the sidelines, makes the calls, cheers the team on. I'm talking about a TED coach. A TED coach is a coach that plays on the field, that gets involved in the game, and he knows that he or she is a creator. A coach always knows that he or she is a creator. And a coach allows an individual to facilitate their own personal progress, right? You don't enable. You allow them to move forward into their creation. So a great example are parents. Parents are a great example of that in the story that I shared with you. We could become enablers. We become enablers in our business. We become enablers with our relationships, and the list goes on and on. But if you become a coach, you get out of that place of creating victims around you. And sometimes as a coach, you have to ask questions to make people begin to think about what they're doing and why. Instead of telling them what to do and how to do it, you speak to them in a way that begins to make them think so that they can bring their creation into fruition. So when you go back and you're dealing with the employees in your stores, see yourself as their coach. Try to work with them from that perspective. And if there's a problem or a situation, try to lead them with questions that will help them get to a conclusion of what they need to do differently. And sometimes, if you're not able to coach them to a place of success, you have to love yourself enough to release them before it causes you to feel like a victim, right? It's very hard as an employer to fire someone or let someone go when I've invested so much time and effort, and I like the person, but they're not doing their job. Now, here's a real-life example where I became an enabler and I wasn't a coach. I had a young man working for me. I hired a new clinical administrator, and she was awesome. she was very concerned about the behavior of this young kid. He was a firefighter, and he worked firefighter, volunteer at night, and then he would work at my clinic in the day. And he kind of was on some hard times, et cetera, and I just milked him along and tried to help him, and I didn't want to fire him, and he wasn't getting things done, and I tried to show him. Finally, I listened to my clinical administrator, and I let him go, and it really hurt. And he sat right there and cried in my office because I fired him, and I felt like crap. I'm like, oh. Come to find out, he stole so many prescription pads from me that over the past year, he wrote prescriptions for Class 1 pharmaceuticals on my DEA license. And that just came to fruition a couple of months ago. And we'll talk about a slap in the face. But you know, it's because I didn't open my eyes to what was really there. I was being the enabler. I was being what was I being? The nice guy. And the nice guy is on the shining armor. What kind of guy is that? I was being the rescuer, right? And I needed to be the challenger. Let me ask you, do any of you see in your lives where these roles are playing out that I'm talking about? No? I wasted my time? I'm sorry. Oh, no, if you do, please say yes. And don't be ashamed of it, because it's an evolving process. And I basically visit these things every day. The take-home point here is to begin to be conscious of what's happening. Be conscious of your emotionality. Be conscious of your energy. Be conscious of your words. Begin to ask, am I living in the victim role? Am I being a persecutor? Am I being a rescuer? And if so, how do I shift into being a coach or being a challenger or being a creator? So to sum up and to finalize, because there's a bunch more, but I always have too much to say. If you take those two triangles and you put them together, it looks like that. The Star of David, or a Star of Life, or whatever you want to call it. These concepts, I think, are a key to a very successful life, a very successful career, and a very happy time for you. And that's what I desire. So I hope that what I've shared with you today has been some medicine for your heart and for your soul. Thank you very much.